Whenever someone asks me what my favorite thing is, whether it's a movie, TV show, or food, I struggle to think of an answer. When it comes to video games though, my mind darts directly to one. It's a game I revisit often and never get tired of. It's my favorite LEGO game, if not my favorite video game of all time. LEGO City Undercover is my comfort game. Exploring the city, drifting around street corners, it all just melds together in an experience that no LEGO game before or after truly reaches for me. Even when I found out my Wii U copy was glitched and I couldn't complete it to 100%, I just bought it again on Switch. Even when LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga came out, sure I played it for a bit, but I went back to LEGO City. I even bought it on Steam, even though my computer can't run it. Without further ado, this is the story of LEGO City Undercover's 3-year-long development, how beta elements show up in the final game, and the rise and fall of Chase McCain. TT Fusion, a studio that mainly made the handheld ports of Traveler's Tales console games, had just finished their first console game, LEGO Rock Band, and they were asked to make more. A lot of ideas were floating around, but the one that really landed was the concept of an open world game. It excited the team as it hadn't been done by either TT Fusion or Traveler's Tales before. At the same time, the idea of a game based on the LEGO City theme was talked about at TT Games for a long while, like LEGO Star Wars while. And so, TT Fusion's open world game was now based on LEGO City. They worked on prototypes for almost a year, all the way up until At this point, they had a prototype with a small city, pedestrians, and vehicles. The core of the game was still being figured out. They were discussing what sub-themes to put in the game and what the game mechanics would be, but right when they were finalizing the city layout, Nintendo approached TT Games with a new console called the Wii U. They wanted an exclusive launch title. And with that, they would review builds, publish, and market the game. The novelty of the gamepad controller made the designers brainstorm a lot more ideas for LEGO City, and they have always wanted to work exclusively with Nintendo, so TT Fusion agreed to the offer. Their game was going to be a Wii U exclusive. At E3 2011, Reggie Fils-Aimé would go up on stage and announce the game under the working title of LEGO City Stories, and it was releasing on both the Wii U and the 3DS. Only screenshots were shown, them being a rendered still, the rooftops, a fireman, and a construction worker. And that was it. The game stayed quiet after this, except for a teaser showing up in the instruction booklets of sets at the time. LEGO City Stories was listed on Nintendo Power Magazine's game forecast as well, and for some reason the 3DS version had a date of 2012, but the Wii U version was to be announced. Again, both of the games would go quiet until E3 2012 in June, and the newly titled LEGO City Undercover on Wii U made an appearance.
Hey, you like Lego City? You should come check this out.
There was a trailer, screenshots, and even a demo on the show floor. And the game's launch window was holidays later that year. The E3 2012 build is much more similar to the final version of the game, especially compared to the E3 2011 build. There are still some differences though. The first shot we see in the trailer is of the responder flying by Lady Liberty. And if you look in the corner, there's an early version of the boost icon. In the final game, none of the helicopters can boost, even with the Nitrous for All red brick activated. In the shot after it, we can see the toy shop in Bright Lights Plaza has a generic wooden doll mascot instead of the minifigure. It's more clear if we compare this screenshot and this still. The E3 shot seems to be in the middle of the change because there's the statue of the minifigure, but the sign shows the wooden doll. In the disguises part, Chase's icons look weird, like eyes are just small dots. And his police disguise is just called Chase McCain Cop instead of Chase McCain Police. One of the last shots we see in the trailer is Chase walking up these stairs to get a nice view of the skyline. These two circle silhouetted buildings don't exist in the final game. They're replaced with these more generic buildings. Shortly after E3, a page on LEGO City Undercover went live on the MobyGames website. Can I talk about the lighting in these screenshots? They're kind of weird. Like, for example, in this ice cream van screenshot, Chase McCain's hair seems like it's a different color. The color used in the final game and on the minifigure is dark tan. But here it looks more like a regular tan. This screenshot is also weird to me because it looks like it was captured in-game to be rendered in Maya, just like this red car screenshot was, but it wasn't. Or at least, the Maya version was never shown. Another teaser was being featured in the instruction booklets of sets at the time, such as the Force Police Station and Prisoner Transport sets, it being of the still from E3 2011. Interestingly, sets released later in the year, such as the City Garage, had updated the teaser page with the new design of Chase McCain. In the September LEGO Club magazine issue, there was a slightly ominous ad among the pages. Chase is covered in shadow by a windowsill, and big bold text raised the question, "Who is Chase McCain?" This page also sets the same launch window as before, Holidays 2012. But as the months went by, the holidays were getting increasingly unlikely. It was the final month of the year and Undercover wasn't out yet. Aside from this teaser, Chase McCain was nowhere to be found. But on the morning of December 5th, we would get a Nintendo Direct.
Let's welcome in a familiar face in a way you've never seen him before. Mr. Iwata, or should I say, Lego Iwata?
Hello, I am Lego Iwata. I am very happy that today I can introduce Nintendo Direct as Lego Iwata.
Not only did we get that very wholesome animation with the late Satoru Iwata, we also got a trailer and a batch of new screenshots. The Direct talks about the game more, showcasing the story and the gameplay, but also introducing the coinciding LEGO set, High Speed Chase, which had a special code to unlock 2 bonus missions in the game. Unfortunately, they also announced a new release window for the game, slightly delaying it from Holidays 2012 to early 2013. Before I go on to talk about the release year 2013, I want to take a Quentin review style break and talk about the game that was released in between LEGO City Undercover's development, LEGO Batman 2. It was released on June 19th, 2012, and later, May 21st, 2013, on the Wii U. When LEGO City Undercover started development, it was going to be the first LEGO game with an open world and voice acting. But travelers would beat them to the punch with the release of this game. LEGO Batman 2 takes all the credit, but in my heart, Undercover was first. Remarkably, the YouTube channel Proboscis2 discovered in the files of the game an early version of Cherry Tree Hills from LEGO City, dated to around the same time as E3 2011. It's really interesting to compare the differences between these two cities, but it raises a big question. Why is it red? No. Why is it in the files? According to Laz Doyle, the executive producer of Undercover, the tech department at Traveler's Tales remade most of the core engine for that game, so I'm guessing that work carried over into this game, and the map is just a leftover. Especially because some people in the tech department of Undercover are credited as additional technology in LEGO Batman 2.
And what brings you to Lego City, young lady?
This boat?
Oh, triple pass!
In January, a new trailer came out for the game, showing more gameplay and cutscenes. Whoops, they actually left some debug information in this shot. It says LEGO City 06 1212 V089. So, going by British English, that means this build is from December 6th, 2012. And just 1 month later, there is a new Nintendo Direct.
Our friends at TT Games have finished work on LEGO City Undercover, and it will be coming to Wii U on March 18th.
Alongside announcing the release date of the console game, the February 14th Direct revealed the 3DS game in full. It was titled LEGO City Undercover: The Chase Begins, and was a prequel taking place before the events of the console version, hence the name. On March 15th, Chase McCain appeared in one of the iconic LEGO City commercials. But, sadly, he was just in the background and didn't actually say the "Hey!" that the ads are so well known for. Leading up to the release of Undercover, concerns were being raised by gaming publications and LEGO game fans. There was conflicting information of two-player co-op being in the game. The E3 2012 press release said it was playable with 1 to 2 players, but every gameplay clip shown so far only had 1 player. And, according to a commenter on a Coffee with Games article, when he played the E3 demo, a Nintendo rep told them that the mission didn't work well because it was designed for multiplayer. So it might have still been considered at E3 2012, but ultimately, Undercover for Wii U would be the only console LEGO game developed by Traveler's Tales or TT Fusion to date to not have a second player option. Laz Doyle said in a Nintendo Live interview, "You would have to have non-gamepad versions and a Wii-remote version. It didn't seem like a natural fit for 2-player. And we've got one strong lead character. If we had a second playable character, who would they be? Player 2 would never want to play as a non-chase character. It didn't work on a lot of levels." The game launched on March 18th, and just a few days later, a booth for both of the LEGO City games were featured at PAX East 2013.
Today I've just been playing LEGO City so far. It's like an open world LEGO game, and it's like my childhood dream of being able to run around in a LEGO world, so it's fun.
Aside from playing the demos, attendants could take a mugshot with a LEGO sculpture of Chase McCain. They could also hold signs that either said Rex Fury or Brickster, which is a reference to the Brickster from the 1997 video game Lego Island. Now that we're past the release date, I want to take a moment to compare the original E3 2011 screenshots with the final game. The construction screenshot shows Chase in his construction disguise with a different torso. That torso is still in the final game, it's just used for other characters. The fireman disguise stayed mostly the same except for the helmet piece. As for his civilian disguise, his hair and face were changed. His badge was also changed from the 2005 design to the 2012 design. This change affected all the other torsos in the game, but it was still kept as the logo for the police department. The E3 2011 version of Chase shows up in the final game in quite a few places. It shows up in 2 cutscenes. The one where Chase meets Mr. Chan in the alleyway.
I'm here about a promotion?
You? You look like a cop.
Well, I'm not. See?
And the other in the briefing room cutscene.
We got our break when a secret witness came forward. Well, secret until somebody accidentally gave their identity away.
Here you can see that it's his police uniform, which was never seen at E3. It also appears in gameplay though. The resident character Paul Wimpenny, who's named after the actual Paul Wimpenny, uses the original hairpiece for Chase but in gray. And funnily enough, Paul Wimpenny's hair and Chase McCain's hair are right next to each other in the character customizer. And as for the face, it's used in the 3DS game for some of the characters. In the console version, it's used as a symbol for the character tokens. The craziest thing about this is that it's actually from LEGO Rock Band. It's all full circle. LEGO City Undercover sold more than 100,000 copies in the first month, and received mostly positive reviews, with 2 common criticisms being the lack of multiplayer and the long load times. TT Fusion were happy with the game, but with the low install base of the Wii U, less people were able to experience the game they put so much time and effort into. The idea of creating a sequel was discussed internally at TT Games before the LEGO Group decided to have them develop LEGO Worlds. Fortunately, 4 years later, there would be 2 back-to-back LEGO City projects that could reach a wider audience. Before the 2 big projects though, near the end of the Wii U's lifespan, on August 26, 2016, both LEGO City Undercover games would land spots on the Nintendo Selects line, meaning they got discounted from Wii U's $50 and 3DS's $40 to just $20. 3 months later, on November 22nd, 2016, the LEGO Group tweeted that LEGO City Undercover was being remastered for all platforms. Finally! Now there was truly no reason to buy a Wii U. I feel like the LEGO Group made a huge push for Chase McCain to be the mascot of LEGO City this year. The LEGO My City 2 app updated its icon to show him. He would also appear in the long-running LEGO City police shorts, but voiced by a different actor instead of Joseph May.
Big Bird is losing visual. Hold on to their tail, partner.
And my boy, my sweet boy Chase McCain, he finally graduated to say the "Hey" in the LEGO City commercials. Another LEGO City set was released to coincide with the launch of the remaster, with the same set name as the original. And like the original, it included a code, except for LEGO Worlds. This time around, the bonus missions would be unlocked just by completing the story. There was also an ad for the game in the instruction booklet. The logo used for it is kind of like a weird in-between of the original and the remastered. And it uses the Nintendo Switch's codename, the NX. The game finally launched on April 4th. Aside from the upgraded graphics, new vehicles, and new characters, a new feature added to the game was 2-player co-op. I mean, it's just a second Chase McCain and the game is still designed for single player, but this edition really elevated the game for me. Messing around in the city with 2 players is too much fun. The gamepad functionality that the Wii version had, such as the map scanner and video calls, were moved to the main screen UI. Does it take away some immersion that the Wii version had? Yes, but I think it was worth it. So, not only did we get that, but 5 weeks later, on May 9th, we would also get the LEGO Dimensions City Fun Pack. It was an add-on to the LEGO Dimensions game that lets you play as Chase McCain and explore a smaller version of LEGO City. It took place after the original game, so it also kind of served as a sequel. And everyone returned to voice their characters in it.
You know, Homer, I think you'd get on really well with Frank.
Even though that's really cool, Chase McCain does feel out of character. You see, in the original, the combat was carefully designed to be non-lethal takedowns and throws. In the MTV interview with Lars Doyle, he said, "This is actually one of the challenges we faced at the beginning, because you're playing as a cop. So, we couldn't really have you dusting people up like in the other games. Batman can beat people up, and no one bats an eye, but you can't have a police officer that's going around punching people in the face. So we went for a more defensive style." Unfortunately, as a result of keeping the same combat system as the other characters, in LEGO Dimensions, Chase McCain commits police brutality.
Why do I always
Chase, whoa, stop punching. What? You gave that guy concussion, calm down. Chase, don't reward his behavior, Ellie, please. Chase, please. This isn't you, Chase, stop. No, you killed that guy. Chase, no. What? They got too real for a second. After LEGO City Undercover, TT Fusion would go on to make many of their own console games, such as LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens and LEGO The Incredibles, to name a few. Unfortunately, as for the character of Chase McCain, he would be retired to the pantheon of underutilized LEGO characters. It's kind of cruelly symbolized within the LEGO sets, as his face has since become generic for use in dozens of other minifigures. There is an animated series based on LEGO City on Nickelodeon, but it doesn't feature Chase McCain. Instead, we get a police officer suspiciously similarly named Duke Detain. Don't get me wrong, I actually like the show, it's really funny and overlooked.
That's odd.
I'm just saying, they should make a crossover episode. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary. I mean, another LEGO video game character, Rocket Racer, is in the show, so why not Chase? Here, let me show you. The jokes practically write themselves. Hey, new transfer. What department you from? LEGO City Police Department. This one? Other one. Chase McCain's the name and going undercover is my game. Chase McCain, you say? My name is Duke Detain. They almost sound the same. That'd be insane. What? You can say that again. Wanna go eat at a restaurant chain? It's your thing. Nickelodeon, I accept cash, credit, or studs. Today, LEGO City Undercover, much like other LEGO games, goes on sale on most marketplaces for pretty cheap. The game is still a hidden gem to me. It's quite frankly overshadowed by the far more popular licensed LEGO games, which is a shame. But while I was working on this video, I was happy to find out it was a lot of the developers' favorite game too. Just last year, there was an episode of the Bits and Bricks podcast that focused on LEGO City Undercover. Some of the information in this video comes from it, but there's also stuff in it that I didn't talk about in this video, so I recommend checking that out. Matt Palmer, the animation director, said in the episode this quote:
Somebody said, what's the best game you've ever worked on? What's your favourite game you've ever worked on? And without a doubt and without hesitation, I said, LEGO City Undercover. And my colleague, ex-colleague, turned around and said, I said exactly the same thing. And it's one of those, I think everybody that worked on it, everyone that worked on it enjoyed it so much and had such a good time. And the team behind it, we all just kind of gelled together as a group, no matter what department it was. I hope it shows in the game. I really do, because I think it's fantastic.
All I have to say is, it does show, Matt. It does. Thanks for watching, and see ya.